أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alamin. All praise to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for giving us a chance again for another session with Ustaz Frederick, Aziz Frederick, and Seerah Series 11. Um, uh, Truth be told, actually, can't even remember when the last we actually left. So, yeah, maybe a bit of little revision, perhaps. The last section, the adventures of Prophet Muhammad was born in, and perhaps, inshallah, that we can learn, take some advice and take some lessons that we can learn from his journey, inshallah. So, without further ado,
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله سبحانك لا علم لنا إلا ما علمتنا إنك أنت العليم الحكيم وصلى الله على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم. Okay, I'm glad that you can't remember where we finished off because I can't either. I can roughly remember, and some of the sisters, because they come to a dance every week, they probably got different notes, so we might be starting in the wrong place. But I think what we were talking about last time was the build-up to the actual revelation. And I think in the back of my mind, I had that there would be 2 more lessons before Ramadan, and this lesson would be talking about the build-up further, and then of course the last lesson would be the actual revelation, which took place in the month of Ramadan. So I thought you planned it very well. And he can't even remember how well he planned it. That's how brilliant he is.
No, it's always planning.
Alhamdulillah. So he's so humble, he even attributes it to the masters. So I think what I did mention a couple of stories, and it might, if I repeat them, then inshallah, hopefully there's no harm. But if perhaps I just mention the content of the story, you can tell me whether I mention it, I can jump on to the next one. One was about a man called Amr ibn Ambasa as-Salami. Amr ibn Ambasa as-Salami, who lived to the north of Al-Madinah, towards Yathrib, past Yathrib towards Sham. So he's to the north of the peninsula. And he was a man of Jahiliyyah, of the time of Jahiliyyah. And he had this feeling that his religion, worshipping of stones, there's something more to religion than this. But because he'd inherited it, so to speak, this is the way of he just inherited it from his forefathers. And this was our culture, so to speak. He stuck with it. And he was looking for something more than this, but he didn't know what it was that he was looking for. So he went off into the desert. And of course, there's similarities between this and many of the people of the deen. Often we follow the way of the Prophet ﷺ in our desire and our need to get out of the city. And that just might be me, who's a bit claustrophobic and really don't like living in the city. If I can get out to the country, I start to be able to breathe. And it's really important for me every once in a while just to get to a place where I can breathe. Even now, alhamdulillah, I live in Govan, and just walking to the river where there's no houses. You have houses behind you. If you turn your back on the houses, you just see the river. And that is something I need to do every few days if I live has planned for us, even though it is at the hands of our brothers here. That plan is that in these days of anticipation, each one of us is thinking about Ramadan. Some of us are scared stiff that this month is coming. I was just talking to Liaqat and saying, he says, why are you going to Bahrain? Saying the reason we're going to Bahrain is because my wife is scared. She's feeding the baby. And she says, for the pleasure